Guys, so today's video is going to be a speed reviews. I have a bunch of products that I've been testing out for a while, for really like the past couple of months, and I wanted to come back and share some updated thoughts with you. But for today's video, I actually decided to do this a little bit of a different format than my usual speed review. So we're actually going to do this more try-on style. I felt like that might be an easier way to really show you how the products work and what I think of them, rather than just talking about them. This way I can really show them in action while we're talking about them. So let me know how you like this format of speed reviews compared to the usual format. A lot of this was makeup that I received in PR that's been sort of in my purgatory, where I test it out and decide if it's something that I really want to keep in my collection. I've found some products that I love that I think are going to be like holy grail status, and then I've also found some that were big flops. So let's go ahead and get on into the products. So first up we have a moisturizer from Makeup Revolution that looks an awful lot like the Charlotte Tilbury, but also like the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, at least in the packaging. This is the Revolution Pro Miracle Cream. Now, I have not tried the Charlotte Tilbury or the Bobbi Brown, but ingredient-wise there are definitely some differences between this one and those high-end versions. For example, this Makeup Revolution cream contains niacinamide, but it doesn't look like the Charlotte Tilbury or the Bobbi Brown one do. And just in general, the ingredient lists are different. So I don't think you're going to be getting a dupe with this product. But just judging this moisturizer as a moisturizer, I do really like the way it feels. It's very rich and hydrating, feels lovely on my like normal to dry skin. But the thing with this moisturizer is that this is the most scented face moisturizer I have ever used. Like, to me, this has the level of fragrance of like a body butter or a body lotion. Like, that's how potent this is. And this is the kind of thing that you will catch whiffs of throughout the day. Like, it doesn't just sink into your skin and then you don't smell it again. No, like this scent lingers. Like, I have smelled this. Like, I put this on early in the day and then smelled it at like 9 o'clock at night. That is how strong this smell is. The scent itself, I do actually like. Like, I find it pleasant. It smells, actually, you know what it kind of smells like is very specific, but the Tree Hut Desert Haze Body Scrub, if you happen to have smelled that product or any of their Desert Haze scented products, that's what this kind of smells like to me. Just like kind of a musky, kind of smells like a body spray I would have had from Bath & Body Works in like 2010 in a good way, but I don't want that scent in a face cream. So if you really enjoy like a luxurious scented experience with your skincare, then I would say, you know, this is definitely worth checking out, because as a moisturizer itself, it's really nice. And it's only 14 bucks. Really pretty luxe packaging. Like, this looks very luxury, but personally I just can't recommend it because it is literally the strongest scented skincare product I have ever used. So but that being said, I haven't noticed it irritating my skin, and you know, it feels really nice, so I will continue to use this and enjoy it. I also do think this is a pretty like thick cream, so if you have very oily skin, you might find this a little bit too heavy, but I do think if you have dry skin, you would probably really enjoy the texture of this. But if you're looking for a moisturizer at a similar price point that is not so heavily scented, I would recommend the e.l.f. Holy Hydration moisturizer. It comes in a fragrance-free version and it's about the same price as this one, so that would be my recommendation. But I'm still enjoying this one, even though it is so strongly fragranced. Alright, so after the moisturizer, I just went in with some sunscreen. Today I'm wearing the Rovectin Anti-Irritant UV Defense, and after that, because I don't have a new foundation to review today, I'm just using my Ilia Skin Tint, but I think it'll be good to use something that I am familiar with for my base. The next product I'm going to be reviewing is from JLo Beauty. This is the That Star Filter Complexion Booster. So this is a sort of one of those multi-purpose products. On their website, they say you can either use it as like basically a liquid bronzer. There's also a shade that looks like more of a highlighter that you could use for liquid highlighter, or you could use it as a complexion booster mixed in with your foundation, or even with your moisturizer, just to add like a little bit of a bronze glow. The main way that I have been using this is as a liquid bronzer. It does come in 3 shades. I have the shade in the middle that is called Rose Gold, and let me just say, I actually really like the shade of this. Like, it definitely is a bronzer shade for me, but I like that rose gold sort of undertone that it has. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some of this as my bronzer today, and you can see what it looks like. Just swatched straight on my skin, you can see it looks very metallic. But I find that over foundation, it doesn't end up looking quite so metallic. You can see it has like a rosy undertone that I do really like. Like, I want more rosy bronzers like this, but unfortunately, I feel like I've only had like maybe a 50% success rate with this product. If you saw my latte makeup video, that was not one of the successful times that I used this. That time I actually used it before foundation, like on bare skin, and to be fair, that's not really how they recommend using this product, so. But if you saw that, it kind of just looked patchy, just way too metallic. It just did not look good. But the main way that I have used it is over foundation, like I'm using it right now. And I mean, you can see, like, I like the way it looks. I would say this is actually one of the better times I've had with it. But other times I feel like, you know, it just looks a little bit patchy. It'll kind of lift up my foundation underneath. But see, now that it's blended out, like, I think that looks really pretty actually. So, like, I do like the way it looks right now, and there've been a lot of times I've used it and loved it, and there've been other times I've used it and really didn't love it. I am still gonna keep this and use it though, because I do, well, like I said, I love the shade so much. I don't have any other bronzers that are quite this shade, and I'm really enjoying just the color of it. I also think it'll be nice to have in case I ever do want to deepen up a foundation a little bit. And this does also have me curious to try other liquid bronzers now, because I really have not tried very many liquid bronzers at all. I think the only one I've ever tried before this was the Flower Beauty Heat Wave liquid bronzer that was in like that dropper bottle. I didn't like that one either, but I feel like there might be a liquid bronzer out there that I would really like. So let me know if you have any suggestions down below, because this has kind of piqued my interest. It is so hot. If I can be real with you guys, one of the reasons why I'm filming this video get ready with me style is because when it's really hot, it's a lot easier to get through more of a get ready with me video rather than just like a sit down video where I'm talking like straight through the entire video with no breaks, because I found it's really the talking that makes me hot. Like, I don't feel that unbearably hot just sitting here, but once I start running my mouth, I get so warm. So yeah, but also, I just thought it would be fun to switch up the format of the speed reviews a little bit, because why not, you know? I'm just putting on some concealer. I had a little bit of color corrector on, the Makeup Revolution corrector, which I'm not ready to review yet because I've only used it a few times, but I had that underneath. Now I'm applying some Tarte Shape Tape Creamy Concealer. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Okay. So this next product is one I have heard that you either love this or you hate it. I happen to fall into the latter category. Okay, so this is from Jones Road. This is the first product that I have tried from Jones Road, and I'm not sure it has me super interested in trying anything else from the brand, but this is the Miracle Balm. They did send over 2 shades. I decided not to touch one of them. I wanted to see if I liked the formula first, so I decided to just try the shade Flushed, which is this pink color. Mine looks really silly. I'll explain. And then the other shade they sent, which I have not cracked into, this is the shade Dusty Rose. So this product comes in a bunch of shades, a lot of blush colors like these two. There's some more bronzer looking shades, and there's also one clear shade that I think is meant to be used sort of as a highlighter. The way they describe it, they say you can wear it alone or layered on top of foundation to bronze, highlight, or tint the skin. So the way I took that is this is just kind of meant to be a cream blush, you know? That's how I would interpret that. And you could either wear it without foundation underneath or with. Personally, I do typically wear foundation, so I want something to work over foundation. First of all, definitely lives up to the name in terms of the balm description. They do call this a balm, and it definitely is very balmy, very waxy. The first ingredient is castor oil. The second ingredient is beeswax. So just to kind of put a little idea in your head of what this feels like, it's very balmy. Really kind of feels like a lip balm more than anything. I think what I have gathered is that I don't really care for very balmy cream cheek products like this, because what ends up happening is it just lifts up the foundation underneath. And like, I have not had a single time that I used this that I liked the way it looked, where it didn't mess up my foundation. So, and I think that's just because it literally, it has so many oils in it, so many balmy, waxy ingredients, that of course it's going to break apart your foundation. I mean, like, I use a cleansing balm at the end of the day to remove my makeup, so it doesn't surprise me at all that that's how this product works. You know, I try to be really careful not to, like, I'm just kind of tapping this in, I'm not rubbing it in, and I actually feel like this is probably the best it's ever looked on my skin, actually, right now. But I do still feel, yeah, but I can still see right here, it's lifting up my base. And to me, for me, that's just a no-go. The reason mine looks like I just like dug my finger in it is because I kind of did. They say you have to sort of like break the seal of the balm. So when it first comes, I mean, this one I haven't touched, it starts out very solid. And if I were to like try to swatch this right now, there would be no color payoff. Like, there would be no pigment. It would just look like a clear balm. You have to kind of press it in with your finger to get past that top layer to get into like the usable product. So that's why mine looks so rough. I wanted to be able to use more than just like one small spot, so I kind of just like pushed it around until it was warmed up. The other thing about this is it smells like something you would buy at a health food store, and I don't necessarily mind the smell, but I do want to make that very clear. Like, at first I thought it smelled like lemon balm or lemongrass or something. I looked at the ingredients, and I think what I'm smelling is a mix of a bunch of different like essential oils. Ginger, grapefruit peel, orange peel, and rosemary leaf oils. So that's what's creating this very, yeah, kind of citrusy, just herbal scent. I don't really mind the scent in like a bar soap or even like a salad dressing, but for a cream blush, I don't know, it's just kind of odd. Definitely not, it doesn't bother me too much, but it's an interesting scent for sure. Like I said, this is the best it has looked on my skin. Like, I don't think it looks horrible, but I can, like, I don't know if you can tell really on camera, but I feel like you can kind of see just some patchiness over here where it's lifted up my foundation. Oh, I forgot to use the brush that comes with it. I ended up using a brush that I actually prefer. This is the Jones Road Everything brush. It's like just like this domed, small brush. Honestly, it looks like it would be good for foundation. I have used it for this blush. I actually don't like it for this blush. I prefer something a little bit bigger and slightly less dense, because I feel like with how dense this Everything brush is, it really, like, I feel like this actually causes my foundation to lift up even more. So, not my favorite brush for this product. I do think it's a fine brush overall, but just with this particular product, I don't love it. So this, for me, was a fail. I would really only recommend this if you don't wear foundation and you just like to wear, you know, just a little blush on bare skin. I think that it would be fine for that. I do feel like the wear time, surprisingly, has been pretty good for me, considering how balmy it is. I do feel like the color lasts on my skin. Then again, I'm not really someone that typically deals with my blush fading a whole lot. Like, that's just not a problem I run into very much, so I'm really not the best judge of like wear time for blush specifically. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this if you wear foundation and you want to wear it as a cream blush. They say you can also wear it on the lips. They actually specifically say that you are not supposed to put this around the eyes, so I appreciate that they made that clear, but I am going to put this on. I actually really like this as a lip balm. I think it feels really nice, but I think it would be silly to buy this just to wear as a lip balm. I mean, this color is really pretty. It's like just a soft pink. It's got a little bit of like a pearly sheen to it. There's a little, I wouldn't call it sparkle, but just like a little bit of shimmer to it. And it's pretty. I mean, it feels like just a tinted Burt's Bees lip balm, if I'm being honest. So I don't think I think you could go to the drugstore and get like a $5 tinted lip balm that would perform very similarly. Not the product for me. I did not enjoy this. I probably will keep it just because it is such a well-known product. It's good to have to reference, but I don't like it, and I will definitely pass on that other shade. I'm glad I didn't open both. So for eyeshadow, as you might know, I've been testing out these 3 palettes from Alter Ego. I think I've actually been testing them out for the past like 2 months, but I'm finally here to share some thoughts. And I did ask you guys on my Instagram stories which of these 3 palettes you would most want to see me use in a Get Ready With Me like this. And the one that got the most votes was the Coastal palette. It didn't win by a landslide, but it definitely got the most votes. So this is the Coastal palette. You can see very reminiscent of the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, which I haven't tried. I've really been enjoying all 3 of these palettes. I have the Coastal, the Midsummer. I would say Midsummer is at least my current favorite. I love this color story. That's the ABH Nouveau dupe. And then the Goddess palette I've also been loving, but I think I'm really going to get into this one like in the fall and winter. Really, oh, I love all those golds and greens. But today we're going to use the Coastal since that's the one you guys voted for. So let's do kind of like a cool pinky look to go with this blush. I also really want to use this Ripple shade here because I don't think I've used that shade yet. I'm going to start out my crease with this really light pink matte called Jellyfish. Just going to buff that all in the crease, not a ton. This shade obviously is like really not deeper than my skin tone, so this is just going to kind of be our transition shade. Then I'm going to go into this matte pink called Shell. It's a little bit deeper. Also just going to buff that in the crease, kind of focusing it here in the outer part of my crease, but I'm taking my brush all the way in though. Really, like, the matte formula in here is really consistent. Actually, across all 3 palettes, I would say the mattes all feel very similar, just a very soft, smooth, blendable formula. Really have had no issues with the mattes looking patchy or anything. Like, really no complaints. And the shimmers are really interesting. There's a few different textures of shimmers in this one, and like I said, I haven't tried the Huda Beauty palette, but from what I've heard, it sounds like a lot of those shimmers are kind of like a cushiony sort of feel, and that's how a lot of these are. Some of them, like this shade Shore, Glow over here, those are more like almost like ColourPop Super Shock shadows, and the colors themselves are a little bit more translucent. There's those 2 shades. You can see they're a bit more subtle shimmers, and then some of the other shimmers are a lot like more of like a thick metallic formula. Not quite so like bouncy. Those are more traditional metallic shadows. Okay, great spot to swatch that. That's what those look like. See, those are a lot more reflective, metallic. I'm gonna deepen up my outer corner with this shade Haze here. Just a little bit. I really like the mix of colors in here. Like, the more I use this, the more it grows on me. But yeah, all of these mattes blend out super easily. Honestly, these shadows, they just feel really high-end. Okay, so after I added that deeper shade, I went back in with a little bit more of Shell, just in the crease, or just above the crease, rather. And I'm liking that, like, purpley pink matte situation. So next I want to take some of this shade Ripple. Looks like a galaxy. Look at that. A lot of the shimmers in here, I don't know if I said, but a lot of the shimmers in here are duochrome. And I'm just tapping that in the center of my lid and also just tapping it over that outer corner just a little bit. Not all the way to the outer corner, but just overlapping it a little bit with that matte shade. And then, let's see, on the inner part of my lid, I'm going to take some of this lighter duochrome. That's called Sparkle. It's this like pastel pink to blue duochrome. Similar shade of blue shift that both of those have, so I think this will work well next to Ripple. I grabbed a little too much of that. That I'm just tapping on this inner third of my lid. Ooh. Yeah, I just love that almost wet look that it gives. I'm actually going to take a little bit more of this really light matte pink Jellyfish, and I'm going to use that actually to highlight my brow bone, or just kind of, yeah, that actually works really well for that. And then for my inner corner, I'm just going to take some of the shade Shore. This is one of those more cushiony feeling shadows. Just a light pearly pink, and I'm just going to tap that right there in the inner corner. So using that same like pencil brush I used in my outer corner, I'm going to pick up some of the shade Breeze here. It's this just like dusty purpley mauve. And that I'm just going to smudge all across my lower lash line. So there's that look. I love those shifty shimmers in there. This palette is really growing on me a lot. Like I said recently, I think I haven't been as into cool toned eyeshadow as of late, but this palette kind of has me getting back into a cool toned mood. I think these shades are so pretty, and honestly for $24 I think this is a steal. Like really, really high-end feeling shadows in here. I do want to say I do actually now have an affiliate code with Alter Ego. After testing these, I love them so much, I was like, would you guys want to hook us up with a discount code? And so the code is just Sarah Rose. If you would like to, if you're planning on shopping Alter Ego, feel free to use it. But yeah, so far, really impressed. These are some of my favorite palettes that I've tried this year. So next up for eyeliner, I wanted to chat about the Kaja Wink Stamp eyeliner pen and stamp duo. So essentially what this is a regular felt tip black eyeliner. Pretty traditional. And this other pen is actually a dual-ended stamp. So you have one side for the left eye, one side for the right eye. The regular liner pen I really like. It's very black, very opaque, long wearing, it doesn't smudge on me. I really enjoy the shape of the tip also. I feel like it's very easy to work with. Unfortunately, the stamp side I find to be more of a gimmick than anything, honestly. Like, I just don't really feel like this is necessary. So basically you are supposed to line up the bottom of this with the lower lash line so that it kind of follows a line up. Well, there you go. Did a great job. What? Okay, to me, this is just no easier than using a regular liner pen. That looks so ridiculous. Okay, I think this is just not a good shape for my eye shape. I'm gonna try to salvage it with the actual pen. So anyway, I feel like that illustrated for you why this is just not helpful, for me anyway. The issue is, I think that, at least for me, like, I feel like it's easier to just take an eyeliner pen, lay it on its side, and stamp on a wing that way. And doing it that way makes more sense because typically the tip of an eyeliner pen, this one included, has a little bit of flexibility to it, so it can kind of curve with the shape of your eye. This stamp, I don't know if you can see, but it's literally just one flat, like wing-shaped stamp. And it's very firm and very rigid, so you really only get one possible shape of wing with this stamp that may or may not work well for your eye shape. And honestly, I feel like it's harder to get a symmetrical wing with this stamp than it is to just use an eyeliner pen. And you saw when I went in with the stamp on my eye, I think because of just the shape of my eyes specifically, I think I have somewhat deep set eyes, and I don't just have like a flat surface here for my wing. So going in with like a super flat stamp, it just isn't gonna work. I'm gonna get skipping, it's not gonna go on straight, it's not gonna go on evenly. Whereas with a pen, I can actually have some control there. So just really not for me. I don't really think you need this unless like you always want your wing to look the exact same size and shape every single day. And honestly, I feel like this eye look looked way better before I did that. Also, quick review on the Ciate Triple Shot XXL mascara. Really like what this does for my lashes. I find it very lengthening. Like, I think my lashes look great with this. It has this honestly pretty like standard wand. It sort of has one of those like Christmas tree shaped natural bristle style brushes. The bristles aren't like crazy long or anything. I do appreciate just how like narrow the brush is, because especially as I've gotten older, I just do not have patience for like big mascara brushes anymore. So I like how much control I get with this brush, and you know, it makes my lashes look very long and dramatic, which is really what I like. But I have noticed that I occasionally do get a little bit of flaking with this mascara, so for that reason, because it's also a high-end formula, I wouldn't recommend. You guys know I love the Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascara. That one's drugstore. I would say that one gives a pretty similar effect to my lashes. Different style of brush. That one is more of a plastic bristle brush. I like the effect equally, and that one I don't get any flaking, I don't get any transfer with it. But everyone is so different. Like, some people have told me that Milani mascara does transfer on them. A lot of mascaras transfer on me, but that one doesn't for some reason, so you know, it's kind of one of those things you have to just try for yourself to find out. But I like this mascara. I will continue to enjoy it. I think it actually has some fibers to it as well that I've noticed, like in the brush, which I do think adds like some fluffiness to my lashes. I do really like the effect it has, but I just wouldn't recommend it for the price. And I have 2 tinted glosses to chat about today. So one of these I actually haven't had that long, but I've used it enough times I'm definitely ready to review it. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss. I purchased this in my recent Ulta haul, which you may have seen. I think I posted that last weekend. This gloss has gotten a ton of hype since it came out earlier this year. I have the shade You're Just Jelly, which is a sheer, like, blue-based red. And this has a really interesting doe foot applicator. I don't think I've ever had an applicator quite like this. It has almost like a teardrop shape, like it comes to a slight point there at the top. And each side has like a little dip in it that holds on to gloss. This smells so good. It smells like berries, like berry jelly. I'll just apply some here. It feels very, very smooth going on. Really nice. And you can see it just gives my lips like a sheer red tint. Okay, but here's the thing with this gloss you might have just seen. When I press my lips together or as I'm talking, this is a stringer. You see that? Yep. Very stringy. And I applied a thin layer, so that's kind of one of the, like, it's not hard to make a good lip gloss. Lately what I've been looking for in a lip gloss is something that doesn't get super stringy and gloopy, and this one you definitely run the risk of that, even if you only apply like, you know, a little bit. I really only used what was on like one side of that applicator, so I didn't even use like a full applicator's worth of product to cover my lips, and like the stringiness is not a huge problem right now, but like as I'm talking you can kind of see, like look at that, it's kind of like gooping up here. Aside from that, I love the glassy look that it gives my lips, I love the shade, and I love the scent. It's very fun to apply, like it's just a fun gloss to like reapply throughout the day. I enjoy it, but also I was a little let down just because I feel like it was so hyped up, and I was maybe just expecting something like completely flawless where I would have no complaints. But anyway, let's take that off because I have one more lip gloss to show you. Another like sheer red, but this is more of a warm red than the CoverGirl. This is the Ciate London Dewy Gloss. And I have the shade Heartbeat, which is just a like warm corally red color. When I got this, I thought, you know, this is going to be a great replacement for that Urban Decay lip gloss that I lost in the move. It's I think it's discontinued, but it's the Urban Decay gloss in the shade My Dude. Very similar, like sheer corally red color. And it does have a similar level of pigment to that one as well. Also really pretty shine. They described this actually as a lip jelly. So I was thinking, you know, they may have been going for something similar to like the Tower 28, because I think those are also called lip jellies if I'm not mistaken. First thing I have to mention about this, it has that baby wipe smell that I've been noticing more and more with lip glosses and just beauty products in general. Like it smells like baby powder or baby wipes, which I do not like that scent. Like, brands, please stop putting that scent in your lip products. Like, I don't know why you would think I would want my lips to smell like baby wipes. So I definitely do not like the scent of this one as much as the CoverGirl gloss. that has become a pet peeve. It's something I feel like I've only started noticing that in the last year. I don't know if this is a new thing. Is this like a new fragrance that brands have started, like maybe it's like cheaper than other fragrances? I don't know, but I don't like that. I don't like the scent. Fortunately, I don't notice the scent of this once it's really on my lips. Like that CoverGirl gloss, I will continue to smell it, which I don't mind because I like the way it smells. This one, I don't really smell. The smell is definitely not as strong, so it doesn't bother me a whole lot. No strings between my lips, no gloopy areas, and I applied a good, pretty thick layer. I actually dipped the applicator in there twice. I'm sure if I were to put like 5 layers of this on my lips, I would get a little bit of stringy gloopiness, but you know, for the most part, I'm not noticing much of that at all. So I do appreciate that, and you know, for a minute there, I thought I was not going to keep this simply because of the baby wipe smell. I was so peeved by that, but I'm sorry, I feel like my hair is just getting crazier as we go. So even though I was initially really turned off by the scent of this, I really like everything else about it. So I don't know, it's hard to say which of these I like better. Like I definitely like the scent of the CoverGirl one better, for sure, but I like the formula of the Ciate one better. And staying power wise, neither one of them is going to have much staying power. Like you're probably gonna have to reapply every hour, I would say, to bring that shine back. Or, you know, if you're eating, drinking, then more often than that. You know, it's not gonna be like the Lawless, forget the filler lip gloss that has like actually amazing staying power for a gloss. These are more of like your traditional gloss that are going to, you know, lose shine as you go about your day. But I have really been enjoying both of these. I'm really into like sheer red right now. I think that is so pretty and like juicy. So honestly, I think you could skip both of these two. I don't think either one is like revolutionizing the lip gloss industry. Okay, so that is all the makeup. I do have just a few more like skincare, body care type of things I wanted to quickly share some speed reviews on. First up, a couple of body care products from Versed. I've been testing out their Press Restart Gentle Retinol Body Lotion, as well as their Total Package Replenishing Body Lotion, which is a mineral SPF 30 for the body. I think you can buy these together or separately, but they do sell like a duo of these, which makes sense because if you're using retinol, it's a good idea to also use sunscreen because retinol can make your skin more likely to burn. So first up for the retinol body lotion, this is completely fragrance free. Actually, both of these are. I think everything from Versed is. And comes out just looking like, you know, a typical body lotion. I have found it takes a while to blend in. Like, can you see that? And I've noticed this with other retinol body lotions that I've used. I mean, you know, it blended in decently quickly because that was a pretty small amount, but I have noticed that, you know, I kind of do have to take some time to get it to blend into my skin, especially on my legs and stuff. But like I said, I've noticed that with other retinol body lotions as well, so I think that's probably just a common theme. I've been starting out just using this once a week, which I think is generally what's recommended. Like just start once a week, and then once your skin gets used to it, you can bump up to twice a week, and then so on and so forth. I did notice the skin on my body getting like a little bit drier than usual when I first started using this, but nothing too bad. And on the days in between, I just use a regular body lotion, and I feel like it keeps the dryness to a minimum. Normally when I use this, I'll just use it in place of moisturizer, but I think it would probably be an even better idea to apply this and then a body lotion on top just to like replenish some of your skin's moisture. But I definitely don't feel like I've noticed any changes in my skin since using this because, you know, I've really only been using it once a week. And with retinol, it takes time to see results. But I look forward to seeing how it continues to affect my skin, and I will share my updated review like once I've finished it in an empties video down the road. But that's my thoughts on that so far. Definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a good retinol body lotion. And then the mineral body lotion, this has an SPF of 30. To my surprise, I have really been enjoying this. Usually I don't like mineral sunscreens on my body. I typically opt for chemical sunscreens just because they tend to feel a little bit less like heavy and sticky. But as far as mineral sunscreens go on the body, this one is really nice. I also have not noticed much of a white cast with this. Let me apply a little more so you can see. All right, I'm gonna apply a lot so you can really get a good look at how it blends in. So blend it out pretty quickly. This is the arm with the sunscreen. This is the arm without. So I mean, I'm really not seeing a white cast there. I also like that this has no scent, so it doesn't have like a sunscreeny kind of smell. I'm not constantly reminded that I'm wearing sunscreen on my body, so I like that. I also think the packaging is really pretty. Really pleasantly surprised by how lightweight this is and how it doesn't feel like just so, like such a thick layer on my skin, which is just not a great feeling especially when it's hot outside, you don't want to feel like a super thick, sticky layer of sunscreen. So I've really been enjoying this. I like that there's no scent either. So yeah, I would definitely recommend both of these Versed body products. Now, a body product that I would not recommend, this is from JLo. This actually is the other product that came with that JLo, that star filter that I received in PR. This is their Tighten and Tease Ultimate Body Serum with peptides, bentonite clay, and AHAs. Visibly tighten and brighten over time while refining the appearance of skin tone and texture. To me, anything with AHAs, I think, you know, is going to be good for just smoothing out the skin, especially the body skin if you have KP or just bumpy, rough texture on your skin. That's kind of what this is for, I think. So, weird thing about this is that it makes my skin feel hot. Like it has this almost warming sensation on my skin, which I might enjoy that more like in the winter, but in the summer, the last thing I want is to feel hot, like all over my body. So I have really just been pinpointing this to any areas that I do have KP, like on my legs, and I have to say it is very effective at getting rid of KP. I would say after just like a couple of applications, it was gone. So that I can say, you know, it is effective in that way, but it's weird because it doesn't seem like a reaction per se. Like my skin isn't turning red, it's not getting irritated, it's not causing any sort of lasting irritation. It's just for about like 15 to 30 minutes after I've applied this. It gives that warming sensation. I did look at the reviews to see if anyone else had had that experience, because at first I was really concerned. I was like, is this supposed to be happening? And quite a few other reviews did mention that. So I'm guessing that's just a pretty common experience with this product. Didn't sound like everyone had had that experience, but this is so expensive. And honestly, if you want a good KP body lotion, like if you have KP and you want to smooth it out, there's a great one from Advanced Clinicals that is way more of a drugstore price that's equally effective, and it doesn't have that weird warming sensation. So effective, yes, but the weird sensation that it gives, I don't think I would recommend it. And if you have very sensitive skin, definitely stay away. But I just don't think you need to spend that kind of money on an AHA body lotion. I think there are plenty of more affordable options that are going to do the same thing. So those are just some quick product updates on a bunch of things I've been testing out. But thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I hope you had fun. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, check out the Patreon or the channel membership if you would like to support my channel further. And otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye!